This film shows how the official investigation of 9/11 failed to reveal the role of some key players in the terror plot. Thesis: the 9/11 Commission was effectively obstructed from doing so by its own leadership. Here are the facts. Two of the supposed hijackers, Khalid al-midhar and Nawaf al-hazmi, lived in California before the attacks. The CIA knew that they were in the country and that they belonged to al-Qaeda, but kept this information secret. Not even the FBI was informed. In California, the two preparing hijackers were supported by a man named Omar al-Bayoumi. He gave them money and helped them in many ways. Bayoumi had close contacts with Saudi government officials and returned to Saudi Arabia right before the 9/11 attacks. After 9/11, FBI investigators were suspecting that Bayoumi, Midhar and Hazmi were under control of Saudi intelligence, working in cooperation with the befriended CIA, who allegedly wanted to recruit the preparing 9/11 hijackers as double agents. To what success remains unclear till today. Two investigators of the 9/11 Commission, Michael Jacobson and Dan Al-Hazmi, found out about Bayoumi's alleged role and also about the covert network that surrounded him in the United States. They wanted to dig deeper. But as Dan Al-Hazmi repeatedly asked the Commission's executive director, Philip Zelikow, for more resources and access to important documents, she was blocked and finally even fired by him. The alleged reason? She had obtained a copy of a classified report by the 9/11 Congressional Inquiry about the Bayoumi network Zelikow hadn't allowed her to review. After she had been fired, her colleague Michael Jacobson submitted their common findings in a final draft for the 9/11 Commission report. But at the last minute, he learned that his direct superior Dieter Snell and executive director Philip Zelikow were meeting to rewrite the account, thereby removing all the serious allegations against Bayoumi and the secret network that had helped the alleged hijackers. According to Snell and Zelikow, nothing of this should even be mentioned in the report. Jacobson tried to intervene, but he had to compromise. The explosive evidence was not totally deleted from the report, but instead moved to the annex, where few readers would find it in the tiny type of the footnotes. But why did Zelikow engage in obstructing his own stuff, and even trying to cover up a most essential investigation? It is known that he had close ties to the Bush administration, being a close friend to then National Security Advisor Condoleezza Rice, who in turn belonged to the closest circle around George W. Bush. Furthermore, it's known that Zelikow had worked on the transition team for the incoming President Bush in the year before the attack. It's also no secret that the Bush-Cheney White House had long tried to block an independent investigation of 9/11 at all. But there was more. In 2002, Zelikow had even authored a national security strategy for the White House that proposed preemptive war as a new military doctrine. That paradigm change laid the intellectual groundwork for the coming Iraq War, a war which had been a major objective of the Bush administration and which would have been unthinkable without 9/11. 1 year later, in 2003, that same Zelikow was as executive director in charge of the whole 9/11 Commission, where he first blocked and then fired the staff member that had relentlessly tried to find the truth about the real helpers of the alleged hijackers. A truth that remains hidden till today. All of this is well known, and all the clearer remains the urgent necessity of a new and independent public investigation of the 9/11 terror attacks.